It seemed a match made in heaven. Toward the end of last week, we got news from TechCrunch that Google was about to buy Yelp for $550 million. But by the end of the weekend, Nicholas, things had soured in the relationship. The talks had collapsed. By early Monday morning, the Yelp camp was saying, well, it was a Yelp decision. We've got bigger and better suitors. We've got IPOs. What really happened here?
Well, that depends who you ask. Both parties are spinning away. Sources close to Google say, hey, right when this TechCrunch story came out, that's when Yelp came back and said, oh, we have a third party. We have something else going on. That's the reason, we really need a little bit more money. And so these sources say, these Google sources are saying, this leak is you. We're out of here. We're done with this talk.
We refused to negotiate through the press. These were supposed to be confidential negotiations. Now, is the implication that there's another deal here, or that the two parties actually had a deal that Yelp went back on? Is that the implication, or were they just very close?
It sounds like they were at least very close, down to $550 million plus earnouts. No one disputes that figure. That's the deal that was had. And then this mysterious thing that happened to Yelp that happened to coincide with the TechCrunch story. We don't know. It could be, people are saying, oh, it could be Microsoft. It could be that they had a long, dark night of the soul, and Jeremy Stoppelman, CEO of Yelp, said, we really should IPO, or investors pushed him. That's sort of the Yelp argument here.
And that's certainly possible. Maybe they just said, you know what, we'll roll a dice, and one of two things will happen. Either we will spook Google into raising the number, in which case we'll make a couple $100 million that way, or if the talks collapse because Google's angry, we'll go public, we'll make that much more. So it may yet work out for Yelp. On the other hand, it may be that they have spectacularly blown the deal here. And my question is whether they overplayed their hand, whether in fact it was sitting right there, $550 million, nothing to sneeze at, maybe not absolute top dollar, but pretty good, got greedy, went to TechCrunch, see if they could jack it up, and then suddenly Google reacts very harshly, which, by the way, an important precedent for Google, because Google's been behind a lot of companies over the next 10 years. They can get the precedent out there that if you try to screw with us in the press, we're walking away, people will pay attention to that. So there is an important precedent here. So that seems like a possibility too.
It's an object lesson. Just don't do this, startups.
That's right, to the next startup.
Buying one a week, they need to set this. I think that's, can it be emphasized enough? They don't want every little startup going to TechCrunch and jacking it up a little bit.
That's right, which is a common tactic. The acquirer, well, going, gone. Come on, anybody else interested? And so it'll definitely be interesting to play out. We should stress it's not over.
Right.
This may be the little fight before the wedding. Right. Do you really want to get married? Or are you going to storm out at the altar?
How big is the ring?
Yes, they could all be friends by next week. But certainly entertaining for a slow holiday period.
It's pretty fun.